Welcome once again, everyone, to Mental Health Moments. If you are new to our channel, we are primarily a discussion starter for all topics that have to do with mental health. For those who are brand new to us, we try to work hard to bring together the spiritual, the mental, and the practical in a way that makes sense to everybody, and a way that just encourages you as the listener to dig in a little deeper and learn a little bit more about whatever subject, whatever topic we happen to deal with on that particular time. This topic that we have tonight is one that we hope will be helpful. It should be a little bit funner than our normal topics. We'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back. Every week we deal with one subject or another, and in the last 14 videos there have been some pretty heavy topics that we have dealt with. If you would take the time to go back and browse the content, if you haven't seen all of those things, you can see them. Every now and again we like to shift it up, change it up, and do something a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit more fun. We hope this is one of those times, and we hope that you'll be able to get something out of it. Not long ago I was in a counseling session with someone, and as they were expressing themselves about their feelings, somewhere along the way, they said it in exasperation, "Why can't everyone just be normal like me?" And it almost made me laugh out loud because, you recognize, as I do, that's a statement of frustration, and it's a little bit ridiculous. And when they said that, I remembered a little something that my wife says from time to time. She says, normal is a setting on a washing machine. Normal is a setting on a washing machine, which is a tongue-in-cheek way of saying, I don't know that it really does exist. Normal is completely subjectional and situational. What is normal to you might not be normal to anyone else. What I consider to be normal might be considered by others around me as being completely bizarre. And normal can change based on your situation or your circumstances. If it's 100 degrees outside and you see someone walking down the street with a thick winter coat on, that's not normal. At the same time, if it's 30 degrees outside and they're walking down there, that would be normal. You wouldn't think anything about it. By definition, normal is this: conforming to a standard, usually typical or expected. Conforming to a standard, usually typical or expected. I was curious, and so I started wondering, how does society decide what is normal? I don't know that I want to go too far down there, but I actually found out that there is a method that society uses to determine what is normal. Deciding what is normal is usually based on statistics. I didn't know that. A large group of people are tested, and normal is the result of 95% of these people. Whatever 95% of the people say is normal is typically accepted as being normal. It's called social norm, socially normal. Social norm is a shared standard of acceptable behavior. What is a shared standard of acceptable behavior? Normal is forming lines in a store to see who is next. Or if you're at an amusement park, normal is getting in the line and waiting your turn. All of us don't like those abnormal people who feel like they can just run on up there and get to the front of the line. Normal is saying, bless you, when someone sneezes, or holding the door for someone when they're coming behind you to walk in right after you. That is normal. And so when this person said, I wish everybody would be normal like me, I would say that that's considered to be a social norm. So let's just look at a few things and offer a few suggestions, and I'm going to give these to you very quickly, 4 of them. Number 1, understand that many people are not going to fit into your definition of normal. You just have to accept that. I was raised in a particular social class, a certain economic class, a certain environment, and so for me, I see things as a certain way of being normal, but the next person who has not been raised in any of that would not see it as normal. So I have to, at somewhere along the way of my life, accept that many people are not going to recognize my standard as being normal. Number 2, recognize that at some point or other in our lives, we all have feelings of being strange or indifferent, or different, we just look or we seem different based upon the circumstance that we find ourselves in. And it's not uncommon for you to, from time to time, find yourself in a particular setting where you have that feeling of, man, I just don't know if this is my place. I don't know if I fit in here. You don't feel that normal. Number 3, we need to recognize that social norms, where the social norms are and what those norms are, where we are. Let me say that one more time. It's a little bit clearer. We need to recognize what social norms are, where we are. And that happens when you listen, you watch, and you pay attention to others. As strange as it may sound to us that things are done a certain way where we live, but they may not be that same way where someone else lives. And so when I leave this and I go to that, I should not expect them to be normal like me. I have to recognize. And how do I recognize the differences? By listening, by watching, by paying attention to them and seeing what they're doing, and then accepting that as the normal for that place. Number 4 and the last, and this is a biggie, think before you speak. Think before you, boy, we could do a whole series of videos just on that. Think before you speak. I saw a lot of suggestions and discussions about adapting and changing your behavior to fit the norm that you were in. And in all of those studies, some people agreed with that. They said that you should, and others violently disagreed and said, no, you should not, because if you change your normal for them, then you're compromising and you're being fake, and that's not so. But one thing that I saw that was interesting, and I just wanted to pass it along to you, and then we'll say goodnight. Don't aim for normal, aim for being kind. Rather than just coming into a situation and demanding that everybody conform to your normal and be like you are, kindness seems to cover it all and involves the lifting of expectations. I'm not going to place that burden on you of trying to fit into my box and my definition of what is normal. So what I see in this is that there are definitely acceptable standards of normal, and one of the ways we recognize that someone needs help is when those norms are consistently ignored, or as it turns out, they just don't know what they are and they need some instruction. So maybe it is that someone doesn't know what the norms are and you might need to help them, just like you teach a child new things. Others may disregard those norms, and they may have some issues. They may have some mental health issues that may be something that we want to look into. So I just hope that this has been a little helpful for you tonight. It was meant to be lighthearted because it was birthed out of a light moment. I wish people could just be more normal like me. Normal is subjective. It changes. So what are your thoughts? Are you normal? And if so, how do you know that? And if you're abnormal, that's okay too. That's where you are, and that's how you live, and that's okay. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the suggestions below us. If you're not a subscriber, please do. And as always, please click that like button. And if you want to share it. It helps us get into a rhythm with YouTube and reach further and go farther than we are. Every week, we try to bring you some topics that help. Every Sunday night, we'll load more content at 7 o'clock. We appreciate you being there. If you found this to be helpful, click the like button and let us know. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time.